Hi, good evening, and welcome back to my Wednesday night sessions. Tonight, the title is Change One Thing, using lockdown to create new habits. And I'm using the hashtag Change One Thing. So, before I launch into anything, can you just give me a thumbs up if you can hear me? Okay, I'll take that as a yes. Thank you very much. I'm here, and let me just double check that I am live. Yes, excellent. Fantastic. Right, so let's crack on. So, if you don't know me, I'm Helen Unwin. I'm a self confessed personal development junkie. I have been for almost 20 years, and I turned my obsession into my profession, and I started training a few years back as a life coach, and now that is my business. So I help customers become more confident by realizing who they are, what they're good at, and what they want from life. So tonight we'll be covering the Change One Thing, Creating New Habits. And so if you want to join in, which you're more than welcome to do, grab a piece of paper and a pen, and we will kick off very soon. If you're here, let me know, say hello, like a bit of interaction, that's great. And I will be going through exactly what we're covering. So, what I'm going to be covering off first is why now is such a good time to start creating a new habit. Then we're going to talk about the types of results and outcomes. Hi, Michelle, that you'd like to achieve. I'd also then start to talk about the reasons why you want to achieve these, and make it a lot more compelling than just a to-do list. We'll dig into some of the ways that you can hit your goal or get the results that you want, and start to think about the ways that you might measure your progress. But also, before we wrap up, I'm going to start talking about maybe things that could stop you or get in your way, or typical thinking patterns that might stop you from doing this, changing this habit for yourself. So, let's crack on. So tonight I wanted to talk about why now is such a great time to create new habits. And the reason I would say now is such a great is some of the typical excuses that we have, like I don't have time, I'm so busy, I can't, I literally can't fit in, are no longer necessarily the available for us to use. The other thing is that right now everything is so abnormal and so far from normal that it's this is a massive opportunity, because in these areas and in these times we can create a shift, because we already have. Who'd have ever said that you'd be working from home 5 days a week, or that the children, you'd be homeschooling your children, 6 weeks ago or something like that. You'd be thinking we were nuts. But now it's a reality, and we've completely shifted the way we do our day-to-day life. And so what I'd like to say is that this is a massive opportunity for us to shift and change our habits. And it might be actually to stop a negative habit, drinking too much, smoking, or something in a relationship. Or on the flip side, some of the things, start doing things like, looking after your health, doing something as a family every day, spending more time with your loved ones, something along those lines. So I want to get your juices flowing about what it could be and have a think about those things. And throughout this, one of the big reasons why I wanted to do this specific session with you guys tonight is because personally I've made quite a few changes recently, and it's really been landing for the first time in ages. Doing something that I've always wanted to do, it started to really land with me, and it's actually been easy, and I've had such a buzz and such a good feeling from it, mentally and physically, that I just thought, I'll share this, and hopefully it's useful to a few other people, and they can take it and use it as they will. So, so let's dive in. So, one of the things that I wanted to say is that when you're thinking about a goal or a habit, one thing that you have to get really clear on is the results that you want to achieve. We're not just talking about, I need to do this, then this, then this, then this, and a list of to-do things. That's not going to that's not going to get you where you want to go, except having it, unless you want to have a ticked off list. So thinking about results and outcomes. So what is it that you really want to achieve? What do you want to have done, and when do you want to have it done by? And be really specific. So things like, I want to lose weight, or I want to, I want to not eat badly, is not compelling enough. It's not a result. It's not really going to tell you what to do. So my result is quite specific, and I'll go into some of the other things as well. But I want to lose 20 pounds by the 20th of August, and that's my specific results, and that's my specific deadline. But it's not just that. I want to do it in a way that fits in with my life. I don't want it to be a fad diet. I don't want it something that I have to do forever. It's those sort of niggling part of weight that has been hanging around here, there and everywhere. And I know that on the other side of that, then I will feel lighter, and also it'll open some other things, which takes me on to the next part. So once you've got your results, you need to be really specific. What do you want to do, and any sort of conditions about it. So it needs to fit in with your life. You need to feel good about it, or it needs to make you happy. So it can't be something that really drains you. So the next part I wanted to talk about you is how you make this a compelling thing that you want to do. And that is talking about your why. So lots and lots of different personal development gurus or leaders in this field will talk about having to use your why. So Simon Sinek says start with why, and that's both on business leaders and as a business, telling people what you truly believe. Well, when we talk about the whys for our results and outcomes, what we're talking about is what benefit will we get from having it, or why now? Why do we need to do this? Or what is it that it's going to change, or what. So I wanted to share with you a couple of my whys. And whenever I talk about things like losing weight, I am torn between the thing of I'm fine as I am, but if you listen to my whys, there's some of the reasons where it's not because I think I'm not okay, it's because there's reasons for this. So a couple of my whys are, so I'm almost 40, and if I don't get a handle of my weight now, it's going to get harder in the future. Another one is I want to run, but I feel I'm too heavy, and my body says so afterwards if I run long distances. And I know by eating healthy, losing weight and getting exercise, I will feel great, younger, and have more energy and fun. So those are some of my whys. So whilst you're thinking of your results, now think about why you really want this result in your life, and what difference it would bring to you, or what it would open up for you, or what it would change, whether it be bring more happiness, and why, why do you want it? What difference is it going to make to you? So when you've thought about those compelling reasons and you feel like you've exhausted your list, I then want you to start to think about, this is your sort of ways of getting there. So start thinking from everything from really small things that you could do up to the massive, complete shifts in behaviour patterns, whatever, whether you have to spend some money on it or not, going from, I don't know, taking 10 steps out of the door every 10 minutes, or whatever it is, if you want to do some exercise, or it's going to building a multi-gym at home, These are the range of things that you can put into this step. So, and when we talk about starting new habits, there's a couple of things that are usually useful when we start in new habits, or trying to create new habits and make them lasting. And one of the things is around potentially starting small. Although now I feel like because we're in such a quandary in terms of the whole life situation, you can start as big as you can fit right now. But often starting small, but doing it every day is one way that you can really build the habit. So just by, I think one of the people who I read regularly, a lady called Jen Sincero, I think she said around she wanted to meditate every day, and literally the way she started it was she bought a meditation cushion, and literally for however long she just said, right, I'm just going to sit on the cushion, even if it's 5 seconds every day, I'm going to sit on that cushion. And then she built herself up into meditating, say 15 minutes a day or however long she wanted to. But those are the types of things. So you can be as small as sitting on a cushion every day, or it can be, I'm going out for a walk for an hour, or I am not going to eat after X time of the day. Whatever it is, start writing. And I know that you're probably not going to be able to get everything out in this time now as I'm talking to you, but what I want you to do is to maybe you can either think about this later or play this back and pause it whilst you think about all of the possible ways that you could reach that goal of yours. And so for me, coming back to me and my goal of losing 20 pounds by the 20th of August, some of the things I had was, so I got MyFitnessPal, so I could log everything that I ate. I also used that so I could put my weight in, so it would tell me exactly how many calories I could have. It also counts the exercise I've done in the day, so I can have extra calories because of that. One of the other big buckets of stuff that I just thought was quite a nice, easy target to sort of aim for is to try and do 15,000 steps each day, which is roughly sort of my 1 hour exercise plus rushing around the kids after the kids at home. So that was another thing. I don't always do it, but I'm getting closer because I know that is one of my sort of things that I'm aiming for. And another thing which might sound weird to other people, but one thing I do is after dinner now, once I'm putting the children to bed, I'll clean my teeth so that sort of stops me from snacking in the evening, which can be a bit of a witching hour, sat on the sofa, not the telly, watching a bit of television, and you just think, oh, I could just, go and nip out in the kitchen and find some sort of treat. So those are some of the things that I thought about, and what I've started doing, and this is the one thing that I really loved, and I think I mentioned it on the post if you saw that advertising tonight, was I have now started doing a daily walk or run, depending on how I feel, and I've been switching it up through the week, to Penton Hook Lock, which will mean nothing unless you live locally here, but it's about an hour there and back walk, and it's beautiful because it's just along the river. And the whole time I've been doing a podcast type thing. It's actually Tony Robbins. You probably have heard of him. It's one of his courses, so I've been listening to that. So I've been using that time to, I've been exercising, I've been alone, so I've got my bit of me time, I'm outdoors, and I'm listening to something sort of educational, learning and progressive, which is like bliss. So that is something that I've kept up with, and I've done that every day, and I felt the real benefits of that both mentally and physically, and I'd encourage you to try and find something similar. So we've got our what, the results, we've got the why we want them, and we've got the how in terms of the actions. So what I would then say is, how do you know that you're getting there? How do you know you're on your way there? So one of the things I would say is, what are you going to do to measure it? So for me, what I'm doing, come hell or high water, I am weighing myself at the same time every day, in the same level of clothes or not, so that I can see that progress, and not to beat myself up again about it either. I'm using this so that I can actually just track my progress and also see some natural flows in terms of, because I think weight is not like a permanent thing. It goes up and down anyway. So there's an element of, Hi, Rabina. So there's an element of shift within the weight anyway. So by tracking it every day, I'm at least getting a useful stake in the ground of my normal as well. The other thing that I want to go, so think about the way you're going to measure before I move on. Think away how you're going to measure this new habit, or how do you know you're getting to the goal. Hi, Jules. And so these are some of the things that I wanted to do. So that's how I'm measuring it. I've got my goal, which is lose 20 pounds by the 20th of August. I'm measuring it. I've got my reasons why, and I've got some tactics on how I'm going to do it. So brilliant, done, awesome. Not always. And what I wanted to think about is, if you have tried to do this thing, whatever it is, in the past, in the same way that I have, there are often times or things that might trip you up or stop you from achieving this goal. And it can be fears of success or fears of failure. They can be either way. It can feel like maybe it's too much effort and it's not fitting into your lifestyle. Or you could have, for instance, if it is a weight related issue, you could say, right, I've done everything and I'm still not losing weight, and right, so I'm just going to give everything up. Or I had something bad, and these are some of the things that I know for me in this sort of typical scenario. These are the things that will trip me up and cause me to come off track and not achieve the goal. So it's worth thinking about all the things that are likely to come into your life or into your viewpoint when you're trying to do this thing that will stop you. So just to give you an idea of, so some of the times in the past when I have tried to lose weight, I've become too obsessive about it, and meaning that down to the nth calorie or whatever, that and making it such a massive part of my life rather than just a small part, and it taking over my life so that I'm not able to live a normal, happy, functioning life. And that's not what I want. I want this to happen in a natural way and feel like it's something that is fits in with my life and not the other way around. Hi. So so the other side of things is I'm all or nothing. So sometimes I can be, right, so today I had a cookie that we baked with the kids, for instance, and in the past I might have said, right, well, I've already eaten a cookie and therefore I'm going to write off the day. And then the next day it's another day, and so on, and then I start shifting, and then the goal is completely out the window. So I encourage you to think about all these things that maybe have happened in the past, or even if they haven't, what could happen to stop you from achieving your goal. So if you think about it before you actually even start going after your results and your goals, start thinking about what they are, and if they do happen, and if they do rear their ugly head, what is it that you're going to do to get yourself back on track, or to get rid of it, or in the opposite side of things, if you know beforehand, are there any things that you could do to stop it from happening in the first place? So hope that's useful. And so I'd really love to hear from you if there are specific things that you're going to try and change during this lockdown, whether it's health things, whether it's relationship stuff, or work or career, if it's thinking about maybe a new career or something like that. But just, I'd love to hear from you, whether it's in the comments here or afterwards. Get in touch and tell me all about it, and we can start to encourage each other maybe in terms of what we're doing. So it's been great doing these sessions so far. Hopefully you're finding them useful, and so I'll be back next week again. And if there is anything that you're struggling with, or something that you feel like you could really do with a bit of digging into in what's going on for me and what could be happening, then drop me a line either here or message me on Facebook, or however many channels we have to get in touch. But yeah, just let me know if there's something else, and I'll cover it next week in our next Wednesday night session. So thank you all for being here tonight, and for people watching after the effect, thank you for staying with me to this bit. As always, I'm here on Facebook. I've also created a new YouTube channel, and this is all Wednesday night sessions are in one playlist together. So if you've missed anything in the past, you can go over there and find them. I've also created a new Instagram page, so Helen Yu Coaching. Go and find me there. So thank you very much, and thank you for your time this evening. Hopefully I'll get to see you again or you'll get to see me anyway, but hopefully you'll join me again next week for the next Wednesday night session. And if you did want to hear anything else, just drop them in the comments. Okay, thank you very much. See you again soon. Thanks, guys. Bye.